Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Soul Tribe digestion event tonight. Sorry, I got my tongue a little bit twisted there. So I'm Tanya, and I absolutely love our program. I have been part of our beautiful program now, the Soul Project, for 3 years. I've been a lifer in terms of this program. Because it's really supported my health and my daughter's health, but also so many of my family. And, you know, one of the things that we really want to be talking about tonight is we want to be talking all about digestion, because I know that there are so many people in the world that really suffer from some kind of digestive complaint. I know for myself, I have been hugely gluten intolerant for probably years. Probably as a child, I was allergic to gluten, but I wasn't even aware of it. So as a teenager, I had a massive gut issue. I was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome. And for any of you who have IBS, I know it's not the most pleasant thing at all. I had all sorts of symptoms ranging from a confused bowel to flatulence, to bloating, to pain, a lot of tummy cramps. And so it caused a lot of issues for me. One of the things that I found that was a biggie, because as a 14-year-old, this is huge, and my mother went out and she bought all the things that you were supposed to buy, like Metamucil, and you know, I wasn't allowed to have all these things. I had to have fruit juice and eat prunes, and there were so many different things that I had to have in my diet, but nothing really helped me. I remember at some time too, she put me onto Herbalife, and the shakes were meant to be amazing, but they just made me feel worse. But for a lot of it, it really came from stress for me. And every time I was under a lot of stress, it would flare up. It would flare up really bad. I'd end up lying down with a heat pack. I couldn't move. It was really painful. So I also had a couple of surgeries as well to try and rectify it, which was absolutely crazy. But, you know, long story short, it took me a long time to figure out what was going on. And by the time I started having children, a lot of the pain subsided, but I was still getting cramps. I was still getting bloating. I still had the confused bowel going on. And I didn't actually figure out that a lot of it was to do with the fact that I was also gluten allergic until years later. And then, of course, starting our program, I still had the pain. I still had the cramps. It wasn't nearly as bad, but starting our program was a massive support for me, because now I was actually regular. Instead of going to the toilet every 4 days, I was actually going to the toilet every day. That never happened for me, never. I didn't have the runs anymore. I know this is an awful thing to talk about, but it was a big deal for me. I don't have the tummy cramps anymore. And it was really what that was all about, was bringing our mind, body and soul program together. It supported me so much, so that not only was I managing stress and I was feeling calmer through our soul and our mind program, but I was also eating really well. My body was getting the nutrients that it needed. I was getting the fiber that my body needed in a natural way from plants. And it's been an absolute lifesaver for me. So I have absolutely loved our program, and I will, and this is what we really want to share with you tonight, is we want to tell you about what our program is, what it looks like, how we can support you if you're having digestive issues. And we also have some customer stories around how the program has really supported their digestion as well. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass you on over to the beautiful Maxine, and Maxine's going to share with you all about her story, but also about our program. Thank you, Max.
Thank you, Tanya. Yes, I can relate to a lot of that. I had a lot of difficulty with my digestion for years and years. It was one of my weak spots, really. And I, even as a child growing up, I had a lot of allergies to different foods, and, went on that usual journey that you go on to try and eliminate foods to improve your digestion. I tried all kinds of elimination diets. I never really it helped to some degree, but never really completely. And I even ended up at a gastroenterologist at one point on medication. My whole digestive tract was so sort of messed up. It wasn't even the peristalsis, and my digestive tract wasn't even working properly. So yeah, it did get quite serious at one point. And then I was introduced to this program, and I found that one of the things that started really improving quite dramatically straight away was my digestion. And what I really want to talk about is our program and why it's so important that what we do in our beautiful mind body soul program, and why that is so relevant to your digestion healing and operating perfectly. So basically, we know for a fact that there is a huge link between our digestive system and our mental health. That's being really discovered quite clearly by science now. That they're talking about the gut being the second brain of the body, because it does so much in the body, and much more than we ever used to think that it did. It's much more powerful and more influential on all of the body systems than we ever really knew until recently. One thing I find really interesting is that most of the serotonin, which is what we might call our sort of happiness chemical that regulates our mental well-being, really most of that is actually produced in the gut, not in the brain. So we can start to understand how somebody who really is not having a good, healthy diet is going to start seeing those effects not only playing out in their body and in their gastrointestinal system, but also in their mental health. And science again is showing this more and more, is that our mental state and our mental well-being and our spiritual well-being is really having a massive impact on the body. I mean, we all know that if we're stressed, or if we're afraid, we'll quite often feel it in our stomach, won't we? I mean, people talk about feeling fear and feeling a clenching in their stomach. I know my thing is I don't like flying, and I used to find before I was going to get on a flight, I would actually have stomach pains and cramping in my digestion, and sometimes need to go to the bathroom urgently. So we can see that the mental and the physical is so heavily tied together. We really can't separate it. And the only way to treat these things is holistically, which is what we do in our beautiful program. So we have in our program a lot of resources around mindfulness, around gratitude. We have a lot of meditation resources. We have a lot of resources around how to, deal with our challenging thoughts and our mindset. And also, we have a lot of resources around our diet as well. So we're trying to work all of it together, as we know we need to. So what we have with our mind and soul aspect is we support that with our nutritional program. Now, we use a program called How to Plate Up, which is an absolutely brilliant system, which is very, very simple, very easy for anyone to use, and also really useful for anyone who's on any particular diet. It can be adapted to any kind of diet. So what we unfortunately notice, and this is why I feel that we have seen quite an increase in mental health issues. There's obviously a lot of factors, but one of the problems we find now is that people's diets have become very unhealthy generally. What we're seeing at the moment on the average plate is about 70% of low quality foods, dairy, wheat, meat and highly processed foods, and trans fats, all those fast food kind of things. And 30% plants. I run into a lot of people who the 30% plants wouldn't even be that much. A lot of people admit that they don't even really get that much during the day. It's very, very poor, especially in this country. So what our How to Plate Up system uses is this model here, where this is the healthy plate that we're really encouraging people to start moving towards, where there's 30% healthy protein, 10% healthy fats, and 60% plants. So that's quite a difference. The plants, obviously, we need there for our immunity, for our immune system, and for the functioning of our body generally. The protein, obviously we need the protein for our, cell repair, for growth, for all that kind of regeneration that goes on in the body. Also, it's really good for energy. And the 10% fats are very helpful in the running of our nervous system. So what we do is we have our beautiful nutritional support products that bridge the gap between, see if I can do this, they bridge the gap between this and this, basically. So our beautiful nutritional support products are our capsules, which have over 30 fruits, veggies and berries in them. They're beautifully gently processed whole foods, which are crushed and dried at a low temperature. So they're a living food. So that covers our plants of 60%. The other thing we have is our beautiful plant-based omegas. They cover our 10% fats. They bridge the gap on our fats. So they're a beautiful blend of different seeds and algal oil, which give us a comprehensive blend of all the different omegas. And they really work beautifully with our nervous system. So that's how we bridge the gap there. And for our 30% protein, for the gap there in our diets, we have our beautiful protein powders. Again, plant-based, all superfoods, lots of ancient grains, lots of beautiful mushroom powder, pomegranate, lots of just pure superfoods, no rubbish, very high in protein, very low in fat and very low in sugar. There's no artificial sugars or added sugars at all. And so that's really what we are having to create a very strong nutritional profile supporting our program. As I've explained, we can't really go ahead and heal our body if we're not putting all the right nutrients and all the right fuel into it every day. Another thing that I did want to talk about was our products are in micronutrient form, which means that they go straight into the bloodstream, and they bypass the normal digestive processes. So what we find with people with digestive disorders is a very difficult catch-22 situation, because they're not really absorbing any of their food. So even if they do get onto a good healthy diet, they're not necessarily getting the nutrients out of it efficiently. So with our products that are bridging the gap, we start healing the gut, healing all of the different processes in the body, alongside all of our other resources in our program. And then the healthy changes that person is making is actually going to work, because their body's actually able to deal with it. So that's really our program in a nutshell. If you're watching this and you'd love to know more about our program and our nutritional support products, just let the person who sent you the video know, and they can pop you some links to have a look at. So that's me, and I'm sorry, I don't know who I'm passing to.
Thank you so much for that. I'm passing you over to Gail, and Gail's going to share her digestion story. Thank you so much, Max, for such a great share.
Hey everyone, I'm Gail. About 20 years ago, I had an B12 disorder, which I didn't know then, but it was to do with the gut and not absorbing the things that I needed to absorb. And then about 10 years later, I started suffering from a constant cycle of constipation, bloating, cramps, diarrhea, but a general feeling of real unwellness. And that was due to a toxic overload because I wasn't ingesting the right stuff and I wasn't getting rid of the wrong stuff. So it was a constant cycle that was really, really uncomfortable. I was taking lots of days off work but I just couldn't be there. You know, there's no way you can be sitting at a desk talking to a customer when really you need to be in the toilet for one reason or another. So it was way too hard. I just had to take time off, and even though I went to doctors and they checked out all sorts of things, they put me on all sorts of medications. I tried laxatives, fibre supplements, and all sorts of things. Changed my diet, eating, as Tanya says, prunes and things like that, which, yes, settled things for a couple of days, and that was about it. And then it all came back again. So nothing lasted for any length of time. So I really was not in a good space. I was constantly feeling unwell. So I started looking for alternative ways to heal. I tried a number of them, and as I said, most of them were with little success or wasn't consistent. It lasted for maybe a week, and then I'd be back into the same cycle. And just like Tanya, unfortunately, I went longer than Tanya. I think it was maybe a week before I could go to the toilet, and it was really, really frustrating and extremely scary too, because you know it's not right. So I heard about the Soul Project through Tanya, and who introduced me to it, and I decided to give it a go. I mean, after all, I had nothing to lose, did I? Nothing was getting better. So I tried the program, and the best part about it, of course, was the mind, body, and soul, which helped calm me, which helped ease the anxiety, which helped me learn to the meditation and things like that. So I started, my body system started calming down, which helped when the nutritional products were starting to work, everything combined, and everything started going well, all good. You know, within a week, I started noticing a difference to the point where I was going to the toilet daily rather than once or twice a week. So it has helped me maintain a healthy gut. I've been on the program now for 18 months. I'm a lifer. I don't plan on changing it or stopping it or doing anything else. It's worked for me. It's worked for people I know that have joined the program as well. The How to Plate Up is brilliant because it reminds you of the things that you should be eating and how to balance is, which keeps that healthy gut. So all in all, it's given me, maintained a healthy gut, but it's also given me a new life because everything's now in balance. I don't have to struggle thinking about, you know, will I see through a whole day today, because I may have to say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm sick, I have to go home, or I can't work today because of this, that, or the other. So it's given me a really good balance to my life, to my health, and to be honest, I would not change a thing. And if you have got any issues of digestive systems, then please talk to us because we may be able to help. I'll pass you on to you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm going to pop in now and just share a little bit about my own story, and it's actually a little bit about my own and my daughter's really, but keep it pretty quick. So I came across this program nearly a couple of years ago now, and when I started, I've been struggling all my life with digesting carbohydrates and sugars and things like that. So I was doing a pretty strict keto diet because it was the only thing that didn't hurt. I started on this program and the nutrition, and I started to notice quite a big difference in my tolerance levels and allergies and things in my gut. I was not having such bad reactions. So just jumping forward to now, I'm able to start reintroducing a lot of foods that I was reacting to quite badly before and just relax a little bit. So that's been major for my gut, because my kids, I used to drive them crazy with all my tummy aches and gas and all sorts of chronic burping was one of my things. It was really terrible. So that's been really nice for me. And just more so though, I really came into this because I was looking for something for my daughter, who was just reacting to a lot of things and having a lot of gut problems, a lot of absorption. We were thinking she was demethylating or something because she didn't seem to be. The biggest thing was she was eating food, but she didn't seem to be putting on any weight or actually absorbing any nutrients. So we really got into this to see if we could do something about her failing health and her diminishing weight. And it was all related to the gut. The gut was just a mess, and we couldn't find anything that fixed it. So when we came across this, we were really quite desperate for a solution. And over the past 18 plus months, we've seen a really massive improvement in her nutrition. Her health has improved, her weight has stabilized, and she's also much more able to eat a lot more wide variety of foods now, because a lot of her issues really started with eliminating all the things that hurt, and then it just got to like what's left to eat. So we found that the nutrition really picked up a lot of the minerals and vitamins and things that she really needed. She just started to actually improve her health first, and then we really got into the shakes pretty hard. And I think she's on here, she can probably verify that she has up to 3 a day sometimes. She's quite a fan, and they've really stabilized. Yeah, they've really stabilized her nutrition out, and she's 22 and she's lost a lot of time and a lot of life experiences, but she's well and truly picking them up and gaining now. And I just also like to say that she was sleeping about 20 hours a day, and she's now up most days and actually having an active life. So yeah, we're pretty stoked, and I think where life is too. So that's my short little story, and I'm just going to pass you on to Sarah Hope now. Thanks.
Hi guys, thank you Tammy, and thank you everybody else so far. I'm Sarah, and prior to this program being introduced to me 16 months ago by none other than Gail, who happens to be my big sister, I saw the change in her through her irritable bowel syndrome issues, and I thought, why not give it a try? And I'm so damn thankful that I did, because prior to this, I couldn't even eat a fried egg on the barbecue without spending the whole evening in the toilet. Certain foods really created major intolerance with me, and I put it down to menopause because I suffered severely from menopause symptoms. And so I put it down to menopause, and not thinking that, oh, okay, it could actually be the food that I was eating, or connected with the gut. So once I introduced this amazing program, and also the fantastic nutritional support that you are introduced to as well, I was also taught strategies to heal my gut, and therefore helping my digestion. And as Maxine said, the fact that you're not eating properly also can create with your mood swings. And I was grumpy, I was tired, and I believe it's all connected to what you eat. And the fact that if you eat crappy food, then you're going to have crappy moods, and you're going to have a crappy body, and it all comes from the gut, because as Maxine said, your gut is pretty much your body's brain in a lot of ways. So since being on the program, I'm a totally different person. I don't go through a box of Nodia a month, which is, as Tanya said, it's not a very pleasant conversation to have, but it's diarrhea medication. And I was going through a box a week, pretty much payday. I'd go to the pharmacy and buy a packet because I didn't know any better. But now I know better. Now I'm watching what I'm eating. I'm being very much more careful. My mind, body, and spirit, the mindfulness and everything that we are given, the tools that we are given, all works in well. And I've always been very much a holistic person as well. So because of all this, all I can say is that I'm feeling the way that I should be feeling. I'm 50 in 2 weeks, and I'm feeling healthy, I'm feeling fit, and I feel like I could take on the world thank you to this amazing program. So I'm not having to think, do I need to go to the toilet? Can I get through the day without having to rush off to the loo? at the time I was a security guard and I was rushing off to the toilet all the time. So I am just so very thankful for this program, and I'm just feeling $1 million. And I'm going to pass you back to our beautiful host, Tanya.
Oh, thank you so much. I love these stories. I just love these stories. I just love our program so much. It's amazing. And look at that. How many people have gut issues? How many people have issues with their digestion? Is that you? Is that really, is that you? Is that someone that you know? Is that your child? And one of the good things about this too is I know that we've got a lot of customers who have children with digestive issues too. I was one of those kids. And so the beauty of this, and something that Maxine didn't share, but I will share here, is that we also, as part of our nutritional support, is we offer this free for a child. So with every adult, a child also receives this free. So this gives them a really good opportunity to be setting up some lifetime healthy habits and creating some really good stuff for our future generations. And stepping into adulthood, it gives them a really, really good start and a really good balance, and then they're passing on the same really healthy habits to their kids as well, and to the next generation after that. So love our program, love everything about it. If you are one of those people who are feeling like, I'd love this sounds like me, I'm in a lot of pain, that you're sick of feeling this way, maybe you're sick of not being regular, because I was one of those people and I thought it was normal. It's not normal. It is not normal to not be regular. It is not normal to have all these awful symptoms. So please, if you want to ask more questions, reach out to the person who sent you this link and get your questions answered. The last thing we want you to do is to regret not starting this any earlier because you just weren't sure. So if you're in doubt, ask. And thank you so much for watching this, for taking the time for yourself, and for listening to us. Have a beautiful day.